that is focused and designed on helping us become more emotionally healthy. Not just spiritually healthy, right? Now we spent some time focusing on spiritual growth, because spiritual growth is the thing that will help you become emotionally mature. That's right. Right? Spiritually will help you become more emotionally mature. But most of the time, sometimes people think they're spiritual giants when they're emotionally babies. All right. So that's what the study of this is. The focus is called soul care, and the focus is that we might address our emotional health, because we live in an age of rage. I told you all this last week that we live in this age of rage. I'm working on a doctorate degree from Liberty University, and it's in marriage and family therapy, and I love it. It's good stuff, man. And one of the things that we're learning in there is that we don't address our emotional issues enough. So we come to church and hop and jump, skip, slobber a little bit on the side, you know what I mean, and then go right home and cuss somebody out. I know y'all just look straight. People don't know what I'm talking about you, man. But it's the truth. Why? Because we don't address our emotional needs. And you know, God forbid that any church that you attend that does not address how you're doing emotionally. Well, I thought I'd get a bit amen on that, man. So today we're going to talk about emotional health when it comes to our family issues, because we all come from family, right? Amen. And we got to talk about family, because most of our emotional trauma comes from the dysfunctions that happens in our families. It is. So we got to deal with it. And see, I believe God designed family to be the safest, most goodest place on the planet. It should be the best place. We should be loving home, right? But sometimes it's so dysfunctional that we don't. And we come out of home, out of mom and daddy's house, scarred all up. And then we don't know how to do it. But see, again, we're going to help you grow spiritually so that you can address the emotional needs. Well, all right. Mother, you here today? Praise the Lord. Thank you, Mother. Yeah. No, because inside of your DNA, just like you look like your mom, your dad, grandma, you know, you got grandma's eyes, daddy's eyes, all that stuff, you got gray, blue eyes, all this kind of stuff. Inside your DNA is also some dysfunction that comes from your family. Oh, boy. Yeah, it is. There's some dysfunction that comes that's inside of you that came directly from mom and daddy and grandma and them and great grandma. You see, I'm from the South, so we used to say cousin them. We used to make words up. I know y'all didn't do that because y'all from the city, but I'm from the South. And my mom and them had cousins come on, they said cousin them. I didn't know what that word, cousin them. That's cousin them. That means cousin and them for those that are, you know, you're struggling because you think I'm speaking in tongues. But I'm not. Right? But we have to address some of the dysfunction that takes place with our family. Let me give you an example. In my family, right? My mama's side of the family, we had drugs, alcohol, pride. That's just three to name the three. We had drugs, alcohol. I had family members who would literally drink themselves to death. Literally. I have some that use so many drugs they die early. Drugs. That came from the DNA of our family. Right? On my daddy's side, it's a little different. Miles, you want to go ahead and put... On my daddy's side, it was all about Papa was a Rolling Stone. Y'all know what I mean, right? Wherever he laid his hat was his. You know, it was all about being a player. Y'all got it. That's my daddy them right there. 1970s, what? Oh, y'all trying to be cool because I'm talking about your people. That's all right. I'm gonna lighten up. But listen, but that's my daddy's side of the family. So they were players. They were players. They worked for Santa Claus. Y'all know what I mean, right? What does Santa Claus say? Yeah, there you go. That's my daddy them right there. All of them. Right? So inside of me is both of those. Inside of me, it comes natural for me to be a player. Because I saw player. It comes natural for me to just do. I can just easily go right into it. Why? Because it came right out of my family DNA. Yeah. Oh, well, see. Well, I thought I'd get some better amen. I know. I'm talking about. No, see, listen, because I watched my father. I watched my mother's side of the family. It's one of the reasons why I don't drink today is not so much because I can't as a pastor. Yeah, if you can, Bible said just don't get drunk. I could. I got friends that are pastors that drink. But one of the reasons I don't is because of this issue. I don't want to, and I'm going to flesh this out some more so you understand. I just don't want to go down that road. I don't want to be able to do it. So I made some strict boundaries for myself, just like I do with my marriage, strict boundaries. Why? Because I've committed to being committed to one woman, emotionally, physically, sexually, everything, one person. All right. Because I know what's inside my DNA. See, y'all be playing. See, man, that's why I prefer to go to a prison because them dudes, they'll talk. Yeah, man, you're right, bro. Go ahead, bro. Go on now. You know you're right. It's coming to church, they'll be like, no, on your phone last night, you were looking at stuff you were supposed to look. Talk about it. Okay, so your family issue might not be like mine, but yours might be anger and pride. Lose their temper, fight. That might be in your DNA. But the main thing, listen, in order for us to be emotionally healthy, it's very important. We have to be aware. We have to be self-aware. This is what they call it in class. You have to have self-awareness. You have to know. Look at it. No, because we don't sit down and think about it. We have to be aware of where I came from. Mm-hmm. So when I go to a funeral and somebody drunk themselves to death, I have to realize that's in me. I have to be careful. Right. All right. So we do, all right? So, and the reason why we discuss this is because we want to be emotionally healthy. Let me give you an example. This is James, the first chapter. This is in your notes. If you're following by notes, you have somewhat of an outline there. I like to give it because I want people to go home and talk about it. I want you to go home and pray, use it. However it hits you, just go home and use it. Listen to this. It said, let no one say when he is tempted, I am being tempted by God. For temptation does not originate from God. Y'all hear that? Amen. But from our own flaws. For God cannot be tempted by what is evil, and he himself tempts no one. But each one, listen to this, but each one is tempted when he is dragged away, enticed, and baited to commit sin by his own worldly desire, lust, and passion. See that? By whose? By his what? His own. Right? You see that? So the scripture said, your own. Not your grandma, your own. Your own stuff be saying, come on. Go ahead. Nobody knows. Come on. Why? Where did it come from? Your DNA. Yep. Oh, well, let me finish. Then when the desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin. And when sin has run its course, it gives birth to death. All right? So what we have to do is we have to look into the family mirror. When was the last time you looked at your family mirror? Mm-hmm. Really sat down and looked at your family and said, where did we come from? You got a child acting a fool, and you've never thought about sitting down and look at your family. Mm-hmm. And so there's a possibility what's going on in their lives came from that. Because one of the easiest things to do is just blame mom. Mom, they were just all drunk. No, you got something in you too. I'm trying to be good, man, because we got company today. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be good, but listen. But if your parent was a bed hopper, we got any kids here? Almost because I can say something. You know what I mean? If your parent was a bed hopper, your mom, your dad was a bed hopper, and here's the crazy thing: sometimes you ain't got to know your parents. And you wonder why these things manifest in your life. These desires come from. Why? They come from your tree. So we have to sit down sometimes and just evaluate, hey, man, what has went on in my family? This is why I have all these desires. Right. And my father's side of the family, they had quick tempers. And my dad was, he was the king. He had to be the best at everything. He had to be the biggest, pimp. I mean, he wasn't a pimp, but, with the hat, he had the best car. He had always be the best out of his brothers. He had to just show them all up. But he had a quick temper. I remember one time we went to, my aunt, I have an aunt lived in Peoria, Illinois, and we went, and one of my cousins went with us. And she was older, it was three of us, me, my brother, and my sister, and she was, she had a little smart mouth. And she was just, and one day they let us go to somewhere, I don't know, so many years ago, but we came back late than we were supposed to. And so my father was questioning why we came back so late, and she said something smart, and my father slapped her so hard. I mean, he slapped her in this century. I mean, he just, kapow, she was here when we got here. I mean, it was just kapow, and all three of us was like this. Because he had never hit us like that. My father probably spanked me maybe once or twice. But because my mom would always tell us, no one slap you. No one ever slaps you. She would never allow that. But that quick temper just manifested. Just quick, right? And so I have to know that's in there. You have to understand, son, right? So I have to know when it happens. I have to deal with it. And see, sometimes, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but sometimes we'll go to the opposite extreme. We don't want to be angry like Daddy was angry, so we just become completely passive. Oh, no, it's okay. It's all right. Everything all right. You're so good. You're lying. Now you become a liar. You don't want to be angry, but you become a liar because you don't want to be angry. But I'm going to help you today. You don't have to be either one of them. Because Jesus came and did a number on us and provided a way that we don't have to be submitted to any of that, but to be submitted completely to Him.
That's right.
All right. Yeah, because see, look, my dad, he felt like he was disrespected. He hated to be disrespected. And when she did, too, so we called my mom and said, Mama, he slapped her. My mom said, and see, they were divorced at the time. And my mom said, get him that phone. I don't know what she said afterward, but it wasn't nice. And they had a little something going because she didn't play that. You don't slap, but he had that temper to just row. So I have to know. All right? So again, what I'm saying, when's the last time you looked in your family tree? Because here's one of the things you got to do. First of all, number one, listen, you have to embrace the truth about your family. When's the last time you had a conversation? Especially the African American community, because we got too many secrets. We done hid so much stuff, we crazy. No, really. If you don't believe me, go to jail. Go to jail. I started a jail ministry in San Antonio many years ago, and I'm here to tell y'all. Straight out of Mom and Daddy's house. Because we have secrets. But last time, you just got to sit down and look at your family to say, you know what? We have issues in this area. I'm going to embrace that about us. We drug heads. We drink. Yeah. I had an aunt drank herself to death in her 30s. She drank herself. She died because she drank herself. We have to embrace that truth. No, listen, I'm just talking about looking at your family, man, so that you, because a lot of these things that we struggle with, we just got to know the source, and then we can really deal with it. Right. And nobody here, listen, nobody come from no perfect family. Don't let nobody fool you. Right. Don't let nobody, because they up and in now, they driving nice, looking nice, their nails painted, and get their hair done once a week, all that stuff. No, man, don't let people fool you. We all came from some jacked up stuff. Yeah. We got to embrace it. All right, what else? We got to create a no compromising mindset. That's what we have to do as Christians that love God. We have to create a no compromising mindset. And see, from that, just that point, listen, you create a culture of zero tolerance. Yeah. You create a culture that says, that will not be happening in my house. No. You create a culture. And see, listen, this is the part that you can control. You can control your culture. You might not control the things that come and give you invitations to sin, but you can control your culture. You can control what happens in your house. You can. You create a culture that breeds good health. That breeds good health for your kids. That's a good environment. Don't feel bad because you got your kids in a good environment. You don't raise them right, and your people ain't doing right. Oh, see, y'all want to tell y'all people. See, my mama went through that. My family was doing good, and folks got mad because y'all think y'all better than everybody. No, we just ain't raising them like that. You got to create a no compromising mindset, man. I remember, before my parents got divorced, and then my mom 3 or 4 years later remarried my stepfather. But before that, when she was with my dad, man, my mom could really cuss. I mean, she could really cuss. I mean, my mom was a very sweet person, but if you ever cross her, she will cuss you out. And I heard her cuss some folk out. I think I was in 3rd or 4th grade, and I learned that trade. Yeah, I said it was a trade. I learned it. And one day I went on the playground, and I cussed this little boy out. I was in 3rd grade. I cussed him out, boys. I gave it to him. He started crying. I ain't never heard nobody cuss like that. I said, come to my house. I can teach you. But listen, I felt so bad that I had cussed the little boy out. I felt so bad, man. I said, you know what, man? I can't live like that. I don't want to do that. I want to make people happy. I don't want to make people sad. by what I say. So I had to tell my aunt, I said, Mama, I cussed this boy out. And she said, what you cussed the boy out? What are you cussing for? I said, because you do it. Then she said, okay, we're going to have to get better. And we started going back to church, Baptist church, Antioch Baptist church. Anyway, but listen, but you have to create a no compromising, you have to have a no compromising mindset, because from that comes your culture. It comes your culture of your house. That's why when every house should have do's and don'ts. Why? Because we have a no compromising. We have a zero tolerance. We're not going. No, that ain't coming in here. That ain't coming in here. I was dating a girl in high school. I respect her father to this day. When I went to their house, it was on Halloween. I'll never forget it. When I walked through the door and I had to meet him because he was a very respectable man. He said to me, "I don't run a harlot house. She dating you. If something happens to her, she gets pregnant, you the daddy. I don't care who it's for. I don't care because I gave you permission. So if something happens, y'all break up, I want you to come tell me." You see what I'm saying? Because what that created, man, was, hey, this is how we get down. If you don't like that, roll. Again, I'm trying to help us get over these family issues, these family sins. All right, let me read the scripture, John 3:19. Listen to what it says. And the judgment is based on this fact. God is light. God's light came into the world, but people loved the darkness more than the light, for their actions were what? Evil. All who do evil hate the light and refuse to go near it for fear their sins will be exposed. But those who do what is right come to the light so others can see that they are doing what God wants. You see that? So listen, I'll come to the light with my actions. Why? Because I have nothing to hide. But people that got stuff to hide, they're not coming to the light. That's why we have secrets. Yeah. That's why we have family secrets. Why? Because we keep hiding stuff. And you have to understand, if you're hiding a secret, you have given that secret power. Mm-hmm. It now has power over you. That's why, you go to therapy, they coerce you, it takes some time, but they get you down that road, and they just say, hey, talk about it. Just get it all out. And most of the time, we have people that doing all kind of crazy stuff. Why? Because they still having secrets they have never dealt with that came from their family. And at some point in our lives, we have to address those secrets. Why? If we want to be emotionally healthy. All right, so let's talk about it. We said this because what God looks at, he looks at the heart. He don't look at your actions. The Bible says this, God looks at the heart. Man looks on the outward appearance. Right? Man, we're looking at what they look like, what they sound like. As I said a couple weeks ago, we're looking at behaviors. We're just looking at symptoms. But God looks at the heart, where everything starts. Right? And so he says, I want to get there and change their heart. Whatever I got to do to change your heart, if I can change your heart, I can change your actions. If I can touch your heart, I can get you to change how you think and with the things that come out of your mouth. That's how he got me to stop cussing. We don't cuss in my house. It's not part of our culture. All right. Well, everybody's just real quiet today, man. I did not invite you to church to make you feel bad. It don't matter. I don't even care. That's between you and God. But my point is that create a culture, zero tolerance culture, for the things that might be tempting you so that you can have victory over it. You got to have boundaries. All right, so what happens? So again, here's what God does. When he starts dealing with your heart about family issues, he challenges you to create a zero tolerance policy for your life. That, okay, this is how I'm going to live. When was the last time you evaluated your life to see if you have any zero policy, any zero tolerance policies in your own life? Everywhere we go, they got them. Your job got them. Show up acting crazy. You business owners, let somebody keep calling in to work. I mean, ain't showing up. You got a zero. Okay, you got to go. That's right. I was at a restaurant the other day. They had a zero policy. They said you come in there with a tank top in, you can't even come through the door. Get out. That's zero tolerance. You can't come in here with that. Amen. Oh well. The law has zero tolerance. There's some things the law says we ain't putting up with that. You got to go to jail. When I was teaching high school, they told us, they said, you want to get fired? You start messing around with them kids. They'll throw you in jail, and then you'll be fired overnight like that. That's zero tolerance. How many zero tolerance policies do you have? You should. You ain't going to let any and everything come into your life. That's right. That's right. Oh, Lord. All right, so how do we do it? Here's what we do. First, number one, we got to fall completely in love with Jesus. You do. And I know everybody says, well, I know what that means, Pastor. You got to fall in love. You see, I didn't know. And see, again, after my parents got divorced and my dad, my mom married my stepdad, we started went from the Baptist church to the Pentecostal church. And then I gave my life to Christ. I had no clue what it meant. It wasn't until I went to the military that I found out, well, really, when I went to the military, God introduced me to himself in a real and personal way. I was churching it, man. Singing in the choir, acting a fool. Y'all know what that means, right? Okay. I was singing it outright, but because I didn't realize it was personal. And it wasn't until I fell in love with him. Because he kept me grounded. He became real. He was outside of the pages of what I saw. No, he was beyond the stories that the pastor told on Sunday morning. He was beyond that. He was real and personal. And man, I'm trying to tell you, I fell in love with God. It was a young lady down. I can tell y'all this story. There's a young lady down the hall from me. Her name was Lacey. She was cute too. She was cute, bro. I was young. And I was trying to get with her. A whole bunch of guys were trying to get with her. Her name was Lacey. I said, Lace, girl, come, let's go to lunch. We ain't have no cars, because you don't bake. She ain't have no car. I said, let's go to lunch. I'm paying. And she was like, nah. She was trying to play hard to get, right? No. I was like, come on, man. I'm trying to get her before everybody else get her, And, man, I started talking to God and started really fellowshipping, getting to know who he was. And all of a sudden, I just had no desire to go out with her. Just like, I'm good. Hey, what's up? What's up, Lace? You good? I'm good. She was expecting me to say, come on, you want to go? No, I'm good. How did that happen? I fell in love with him. He started changing my desires. The things that I thought I had to have, he changed it. Amen. Yeah, the things I thought I really needed, he absolutely changed it. Why? Because I just fell in love with him. And it became personal to me. And I'm just here to tell you, and really start getting over, I don't care what it is, the depression, anxiety, all of that stuff, you want to get over those things, it starts with Jesus being the ground of your life. Right. Not just a piece. No, right. He's the center of it. Right. And when I fell in love with him, I'm trying to tell you, everything fell in order. I wasn't perfect. No, I made a whole bunch of mistakes. But he never made me feel bad for what I did. Never. Right? And loving Jesus don't make you weird. Y'all, I don't know if I put that in your notes. Can I have my water, babe? I don't know if, listen, loving Jesus, don't let anybody tell you that. Christian people are a little weird. Nuh-uh. Not real Christians. No, man. It's weird loving people more than loving God. Listening to people more, that's weird. But loving him is not weird, man. We're getting in an age now where they're trying to get us on that track where we look like we awkward as Christians. Man, listen, bump that. No, that's wrong. We're not weird. We're walking in truth and loving God, and God will help us with the rest. That's all he wants you to do is just fall in love with him. And I'm telling you, because what happens is, as we read in James, there are things that pulls on us, that wants us to come on and go and come on and, listen, I still see pretty beautiful women today. I still see them. We live in Atlanta. It's a whole bunch of them. And the pull is still there. But why am I grounded? Because of my love for him. See, before I met her, I was in love with him. She didn't get me to stop messing around with women. He did. He's the one to say, oh, no, I ain't doing that no more. It was a hard decision. Anyway, praise the Lord. No, listen, this is Matthew 6:24. It says, no one can serve two masters, for either you will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You see that? You cannot serve God and mammon, or money, possessions, fame, status, or whatever is valued more than the Lord. You see that? He said you can't do both. You got to love one. So many people have left the church because they don't love God. They just wanted relief. As soon as he gave them relief, they jetted. Oh, no, man. No, listen. I'm trying to help you. If we're gonna overcome these things that pull on us, that sets us back years, we have to understand, we got to look at that family tree, that we have to develop a zero tolerance. No, I'm not living like that. I'm not doing that. Amen. Why? Because I love God, no other reason, right? Y'all still here? All right, let me see. What's this scripture here? All right, we got that one. Okay, let's go to the next point. We're almost done. Y'all can believe it. We're almost done. Look at this. Here's the next point. Listen. So again, we're developing a zero tolerance policy, all right? Y'all still here? Yeah. Number one, you got to create uncomfortable boundaries for yourself.
That's right.
Uncomfortable boundaries. Not caring about what people say. Don't care about who's watching or who ain't watching. No, I'm doing this because I want to be right with God, and I want to prove to the people that I love that we're going to have a family, and our family is going to live a life that's pleasing to God, not any old kind of way. So many of these folks now, I was listening to Bishop Jakes yesterday, I think it was, and he was talking about young ladies, and he was saying that so much we've allowed culture to raise our girls, and they don't know how to be wives and moms anymore. They don't know how to, because they've been raised. All right. Yeah. You have to create uncomfortable boundaries. That means you have to do things that might make you a little bit uncomfortable. I have a very, very close friend of mine had a problem with pornography and, looking at stuff on TV he shouldn't have. He got promoted at a company, I don't know if you guys ever heard of USAA, some of you military guys. He was a big executive in USAA, and he would travel a lot. The different hotels he went to, he would tell the people in the hotel, take the TV out. And it was just the most awkwardest thing you would ever believe. And he said, I want the TV out. I mean, it got to the point that some hotels, they got used to it. Take that, yeah, I don't want the TV. Why? Because I don't want to be tempted like that. You see how uncomfortable that is? So here they are, and they're fixing the thing. They got the tools, and the guys are mad. And they're thinking like, what did this do? What is he? Is he some religious freak? No, he just put some uncomfortable boundaries down so that he wouldn't cheat on his wife and ruin his family. Now his wife is running for Congress. Why? Because he chose to set some boundaries so that he can live by and establish a good name for himself. But you got to be willing to be uncomfortable, man.
That's right. That's right.
I'm preaching hard, man. Y'all ain't saying much, but I'm preaching hard. Right? Let me just give you a story. Man, I remember my parents, I'm from old school. And my mom died when I was 16. And so my aunts and all, they helped give me advice as I was coming up those last couple of years. And I bought a girl, my high school girlfriend, I bought her some pair of pants and a blouse for Christmas one time. My aunt almost had a seizure. What are you doing? You don't buy no girl no clothes? What's wrong with that? I mean, my best friend's girlfriend picked it out. I don't care. Take it back. Because what she was saying was, that's too intimate. But she said, buy her some earbobs. That's earrings for y'all that don't know. Right. Get her some earbobs. That's what you do. I'm going to take you to the store. I don't want you to take me. I'm going to take you anyway. You see what I mean? Because what she was saying, baby, you can't send the wrong message. And so, again, if you're willing to deal with these secret sins that we don't deal with, we don't face sometimes, you have to draw some uncomfortable boundaries in your life. You can't call me. No, don't call me after 10 o'clock. No, and don't be texting me either after 9. See, that's too much. No, he done gone overboard. Hama will get a man. You'll get it. I promise you will. Because that'll turn his fire upside down. All right. All right. All right. No, because listen, the thing you don't want to do is you don't want to give sin and your secrets power, like I said before. We all have power, but don't give it away. You give it to sin. The moment you say yes to all that, you have given your power away. And now that secret has power over your life. And those sins visit our kids. And we have to deal with them. Why? Because we never dealt with the secrets that came from mom and daddy's house. No, don't give it your power. Talk about it. Go talk. I mean, I have an aunt. Listen, true story. I had an aunt, my father's aunt, that's one we went to in Peoria, Illinois. I got on the phone with her one time, and I literally, this is the truth, my wife will tell you, she was telling me so much, because I was asking questions about my dad's side of the family and just trying to get information. She was telling me the whole story. I thought she stopped talking. I put the phone down for about an hour. True story. And I just picked it up and looked at it, and she was still talking. And I said, is that kind of stuff going on up in there? Oh. She said, oh, baby, I didn't know you got off. She was talking that long. That's how much stuff was going on. She was just telling me the stuff and what happened and who did. Because I asked, I want to know what happened there, because I want to make sure my kids don't act up. I know that's your auntie from way back there, boy. You need to act up. But you got to make uncomfortable boundaries. Can I give you one more point? We'll be done? Yes. Oh, let me read the scripture. Listen to this. Listen to this. This is Matthew 5:27. I got to read this. Listen. You have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I say to you that everyone who so much as looks at a woman with lust for her has already committed adultery in her heart. If your right eye makes you stumble and leads you to sin, tear it out. Throw it away. That is, remove yourself from the source of temptation. You see that? For it is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown in hell. If your right hand makes you stumble and leads to sin, cut it off. Throw it away. That is, remove yourself from the source of temptation. That's all we're talking about. When we're saying make some uncomfortable boundaries, we're saying, hey, remove yourself from that. That's what my friend did. He just removed himself. He said, man, I know me. I know it's just too much of me. My daddy was a rolling stone. Take that out. You know, all he did. Now, Jesus didn't literally mean pluck your eye out. Because that would be a contradiction because he was here healing people. So he wouldn't tell them to pluck out. He was just saying, hey, remove yourself from the temptation so that it doesn't affect you. So you're not pulled. When it pulls, you say, hey, yeah, get him out of here. See, one thing me and my wife have done over the years, we created this thing where we talk about it. We're not just, okay, let me give you an example. If I see a fine young person or a nice-looking young lady, I say, hey, babe, she's very pretty, isn't she? And she said, yeah, she is pretty. Or she said, not the guy. Look at that guy. He's handsome. I said, yeah. And we just, in our casual conversation, we'll talk about it. Why? Because we're not giving it the power.
That's right.
I don't have to sneak a peek. All the guys drop their head, man. Don't be talking, man. Bro, don't be telling us our secrets, man. Come on, man. No, I'll be like, No, I just say, hey, babe, she's pretty, man. She's beautiful. That's a beautiful girl right there. And we just talk about it. That's uncomfortable. For most folks, they would never say that to their wives. But we've done that to make boundaries for our marriage. Man, maybe I shouldn't have told that, babe, man. But look, I took her to Puerto Rico. I had to drag her off the island, bro. And where we went, she go, he cute, ain't he cute? Oh, that was really, he cuter than that. I said, okay, hold up. Now, that's when I realized I ain't as strong as you in that area, so we're going to have to minimize that a little bit. I was all jealous, like, okay, we going this way because he was over there. Let's just go this way. Or he was at that restaurant. We ain't going back there. Golly. You were slobbing all out your mouth, girl. Golly. Right, but we made some uncomfortable boundaries. Why? So that we can have a healthy relationship. So that we can talk about these things. So if they come up, we say, hey, you know what, that right there? You know what, I don't want to pray for her no more because I don't like the vibe. Because I felt something between her. I don't want, no, you just, I'll let you handle it.
Amen.
Okay. See, church people get me, man. I'm going to go back to the jail. Jail be like, yeah, bro. Yeah. I ain't going to do all that, but yeah. All right, come on. We got one more point. Listen, one more point we got done. Listen. And then, again, we're talking about zero tolerance, right, for our lives, is that we have to practice spiritual discipline. Practice spiritual disciplines. What do you mean? That God has given us certain things that can help us so that we don't allow things to overcome us, right? Like fasting. You have a problem with lust? Fast. Do a 3-day fast with just water and juice. See what happens. Kill that appetite like. Oh, well, they say fast. We just came up with fast. That's what you talking about, man. No, but what? He's given us prayer, time with God, meditation, all these things you hear people say. The purpose of those are what? It's to discipline you. It's to discipline your thinking, discipline your mind, so that you have a problem with lying. You need to read the scriptures. Just study the scriptures. Just read them. Just over and over again. We have a good devotional plan here. Where a lot of people in our church are on devotional plans in groups, and we talk about the stuff that we're reading. We keep each other accountable to what we're doing, all that good stuff. Why? Because it's so important, because these things keep sin away from us. And whether you still believe it or not, because churches don't talk about it enough, sin destroys people. Sin kills people. Don't buddy up with it. It kills people. You got a problem with stealing? Everybody grabbing their purse like, who the? It's kind of dark in here. Anyway, you better, right? No, start meditating on the scriptures. This is real simple, man. You got a problem with pride? Start confessing the scripture about repentance and all those things. Right? Because God doesn't want us bound. He's given us ways to get out of it, especially if you have a history of it in your family. One of my aunts one time stole a, well, they call them PlayStations now, but it used to be called Atari things.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. She stole that thing. And she ain't but this big. I said, how you stole that? How did you She came out with that thing. Here, boy, gonna take that thing. What? See, I'm being too honest. But I'm trying to help you understand, man, these things run in our families, and we have to know, and we need to know how to address it, but you got to have zero tolerance. I'm not letting that in here. You got to be willing to take that step. Now, listen, and it comes from me listening to God. The more I fall in love with him, the more he'll say, hey, you don't need, because listen, God has told me on Instagram, stop following her. Get rid of her. Don't follow him. Every time I see them, they naked, or got something look like they naked. He says, get rid of them. Unfollow them. Why? Because it's not good for you. Oh, well. I'm going to read this scripture, then we'll be done. Listen to this. Y'all don't think Jesus challenged people? Just listen to this scripture. There was a man he was not coming Bartimaeus. He was blind. He was a beggar outside the street. This man who healed me, they asking him, hey, who healed you? Listen to this. The man who healed me and gave me back my strength was the one who said to me, listen to this, pick up your pallet and walk. They asked him, who is the man who told you this? Pick up your pallet and walk. Now the man who had been healed did not know who it was. He didn't know who Jesus was. For Jesus had slipped away unnoticed since there was a crowd in that place. Afterward, Jesus found him in the temple and said to him, listen, see, you are well. Stop sinning or something worse may happen to you. The man went away and told the Jews that it was Jesus that made him well. Jesus told him, you better stop. If you don't stop sinning, something worse is coming on you. So that means to tell you, what does that mean? That means sin caused his sickness. Some theologians and historians believe he had syphilis. So Jesus told him, you better stop, but something worse going on. Now, I healed you. You didn't deserve it, but I gave it to you. So stop it, or something worse is going to come on you. You see what I mean? So that's why we're talking about disciplines, spiritual disciplines. Why? So that worse don't come on you, or so that worse don't show up in your house. So that worse, your kids don't see worse at their door. But you got to deal with these secrets. You got to talk about it. Well, let me get ready to close. No, we do. In order for us to be, again, there's no need for us to try to be emotionally, spiritually giants and emotionally babies. That we won't deal with so you can't have one disagreement without not talking to people for 4 years. You have one disagreement and then you don't talk for 2 weeks. No, that's not emotionally healthy. I don't care how many tongues you pray in. It's not emotionally healthy. And what God wants, he wants us to have a balance of being emotionally healthy. Y'all heard me and my wife's testimony, but one of the things I had to do, we had to grow up. We went through marriage counseling and did all that good stuff, but we still had to grow up and grow into each other because I was a big old baby and still is sometimes. I'm sensitive. And sometimes she's direct, and she say things to me, and I go back. We go back and forth. And the Spirit of God just, I tell him all the time, you're so unfair because you always talk to me and you never talk to her. Can you just talk to her sometime? But listen, over time, the Spirit of God has helped me understand where all of that stuff comes from, where it all started with me. And he'll do the same for you. He'll let you know. The reason why you get angry so mad, he'll tell you why you have such a quick temper, or why you can blow people off and never talk to them again. Or you walk in pride in the things you do. The Spirit of God will help you. So that you can teach your kids how to transgress. One of the things we have in our house, we have conversations. We have very candid conversations. We talk about stuff. We're not a perfect family. God, that's a lie from heaven. From hell. We're not perfect, but we talk. And we talk about things that affect them and things that have come from us that affect them. We talk about the dysfunctions in our families. And we tell them, don't let this happen in your family. Why? Because God has grew us up spiritually so that we can impact emotions and we can teach each other how to have good relationships. 29 years seem like 5 years to us. We still be laughing, having a good time, fussing and fight sometimes, and then don't even care the next minute. We going at each other yesterday. 3 minutes later, we laughing and talking. Why?